What else can affect supply?
Competition.
Explain that a little.
Let's say someone's making like the same product as you, but using like different resources. I don't know. Very similar product, but like a cheaper price.
It's price.
Here's how I categorize that. I call it the number of sellers in the market. So the actual number of sellers that exist in the market. And it could go the way that you're identifying. I could actually see that. But normally you have more sellers in the market. One easy way to think about it is selling bottled water. And we get more people selling bottled water and an increase in the number of sellers. So I'm selling bottled water and we get more people selling bottled water. Then to the right. Less sellers in the market and to the left. There is that competition angle that you're identifying that could actually reverse this. So that could actually happen in reality. But normally the straightforward way to think about this is more sellers, you have more people making, producing and selling the good, supply goes to the right. You have more people, you have less people making, producing and selling the good, it shifts to the left. Yeah? What else would affect supply?
Buyers. Number of buyers.
The number of buyers would affect demand.
Government policies.
Explain that a little.
Okay, so when the government makes you increase those wages, you have to pay federally and like state.
So that's the resource price, no? That's the wage going up.
Yeah, but I mean,
So that we categorize there. I agree with the government policy. But tell me something very specific about government that should affect your supply. Taxes. Yeah? So, let me ask you this. Will taxes affect demand? There's a change in taxes. Does that affect your demand for a good? The government taxes you more or less.
yes.
Absolutely. More often than not, when we use taxes in this course, we're going to be using it specifically to highlight producer taxes. It's affecting the seller. Okay? So more often than not, in this course, when you see taxes, we do know in the real world it affects demand, but more often than not, the change in the taxes, specifically, we're having it affect supply. Just to simplify things. So taxes, I agree. Producer taxes, that affects supply. You should know how this works by now. Taxes go up.
Where?
Yes? What else? Anything else you can think of?
Price of related goods.
I'll agree with that. Even though the price of related good is also a demand factor, I'll agree with that in this regard. We call it kind of like input substitution. I'm not explaining this a little. I agree with you on
Is
this.
it like those tractors that you use to plow, like for deep like construction?
I'm sorry. Say that again?
Like if the price of the like what do I say, bulldozer goes down that you need to use on a construction site, that's going to increase your supply. I mean that's a weird example, but basically.
Let me tell you the idea I was thinking of when you said price of related good. Let's say you have a factory where you could make bottled water. That's a factory right now. You're making and producing bottled water. Yeah? You could just as easily, with the same resources, throw some Kool-Aid in this and make flavored water. Very easy. In fact, you wouldn't have to change much. Right now you're making bottled water and you're selling that on the market. Now how I pretty much kind of use this related good, remember you could make the flavored water very easily with the same inputs. So we're making bottled water, and if the price of flavored water now goes up, what should happen to the supply of bottled water? You should go to the left. Because now you see, why don't I just switch my resources over and start pouring the Kool-Aid in the water and sell something that will give me more profits? That's the idea I looked at when you said related goods. It's kind of like input substitution. And usually it's the case where your resources can be pretty much transferred. Usually it's a similar production of a good or service. So the idea here, just so you remember when you're studying, let's say you have an increase in the price of flavored water. You're studying and you're trying to remember. Increase in the price of flavored water would actually mean to the left of the bottled water. Just so you remember, can produce both flavored bottled water with same resources. That's how I kind of envision that example. So I agree with you there. Anything else you can think of? I have one, and we don't want to skip. Subsidies. Does anybody know what a subsidy is? Yes.
Should be where the government lowers the price it really costs to produce corn, for example, by giving money. They subsidize the farmers.
So not so much the price, but the last part of what you said is where the government gives money to encourage the production of a particular good or service.
Make it less expensive to produce, right?
That could be part of the argument, but think of it very broadly and generally. It's like a reverse tax. Instead of taking money away, they actually give money to encourage the production of a good or service.
Can you say taking a grant?
You could have demand side subsidies or supply side subsidies. Right now we're talking specifically about supply side subsidies, but absolutely, if it is a grant to encourage the production of a particular good or service, then absolutely, we could still consider that a subsidy. Okay? Now, actually put this on the graph. Let's say this is some good. Subsidies in the sector increase. What do I do?
To the right.
Subsidies decrease. We take away the subsidies. Yeah? Not the price of the good in question. There you go. You change those variables around. Now here's a slightly tricky one. Last one on me. So this is number 7. Now remember, case number 1 was the price of the good in question today. So, where you think prices will be tomorrow, next week, or next month is a case number 2 issue. But be careful there. These are price expectations. So where you expect prices to be is not the price of the good in question today. Some future price. Now let me ask you, if you expect the prices to drop in the future, you're the person selling the good, what's going to happen to supply today? Somebody singing the Beyonce song? That's what you're getting into right there. So, you're selling the good, and you expect prices will drop in the future. What do you do today?
So more.
You're gonna want to make, produce, and sell as much of that good as you can today. So where's the supply curve gonna go today?
Right.
Yeah? If you expect the prices to go up in the future, you could argue this. So you expect a higher price in the future, they're gonna kind of want to back off on production and kind of wait for that higher price. Save up your resources to produce more in the future. So, left today. Yes? Notice this is a case, even though we say price, read the question carefully. If it's not the price of the good in question today, it's gonna be shifting. The only thing that's case number one is the price of the good in question right now. Moving along. Any other variable will be shifting. Right is an increase, left is the decrease.